Hey, what is up guys? It's Brennan here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the 7 best savings accounts in 2020. And with the meteoric rise of savings rates, I figured why not a better time to make a video like this. Now, savings accounts, of course, you may be familiar with the Chase savings accounts that only give you an abysmal 0.06% yield, and that's common for many of the big banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, and any banks that really don't have to try to give you a good savings account percentage. And you may be seeing that like, well, is there a better option out there? In today's video, we're going to be going over 7 of the best savings accounts. Now, of course, you can't expect the savings rates to be anything like they were back in the 1980s when the Fed used to pay out almost close to 10%. Average savings accounts even past then, up until the early 2000s, were up in the 4% range. Nowadays, it's closer to about 1%, and now the Fed has even cut the rate all the way down to close to nothing. And the reason these banks actually do give out better percentages is to get people in the door. At the top of this list, we're starting off with number 1 is Ally Bank, and this is the bank that I personally use. They are an online bank, which is great nowadays because when are you going to be going to a physical location when you don't want to go inside anywhere? Social distancing and all that, of course. So with Ally Bank, you get about a 1% annual percent yield, which I think is pretty fair, pretty good. It used to be higher, but of course they have had to slowly lower it over time. And really all the rates throughout this video may change. It might go up, might go down. This is just the current rates, but most of these banks are dedicated to providing a decent rate. So if you see a rate here, things may change. This list may adapt over time. So you can expect that most of these accounts do actually offer a pretty competitive rate. And one of my favorite features of the Ally Bank savings accounts is that they do offer a new bucket system. Now, the buckets work as though you have different savings objectives and goals that you can set for yourself, whether it be for saving up for a vacation or an emergency fund or a house fund or a car fund or anything that you really want. You can even select and add in your own custom savings goals. So it really helps you kind of figure out where you're at and what you're working towards with your savings. Ally does also offer a savings projections feature, which a lot of the different savings accounts in this list do offer, and Ally's does work decently if you were to continue to contribute the same savings amount month after month. Although if you make more money, you make less money, that may adjust over time. So the projections aren't 100% accurate. They are just projections based on if you were saving the same recurring amount every single month, which you can set up in your settings if you want to do that. Make the same deposits. You can deposit as much as you want into the account. Of course, there is the 6-time withdrawal rate based on the current government regulation, and that goes across all the accounts that you'll find in this list, is that you can only withdraw up to 6 times, or otherwise there will be some sort of fee typically. Now during the current events, that fee may be currently waived. I believe it is, but you have to check, of course, with your individual bank when you go to make over 6 withdrawals. Number 2 is the American Express personal savings account. This one also offers a 1% APY, which is the same as Ally Bank, and many banks right now are offering about a 1%. So if you can get that on your bank account, then that's about the best you can do with a savings account right now. But American Express, popular for their credit cards, also has this personal savings account, which is pretty cool. So you can log in and have a personal savings account as well with them. And this is a pretty cool account because establishing a relationship with a company like American Express could help you get better credit card offers in the future. That is one of the major reasons to sign up with these personal savings accounts, is they want to get you in the door and then they offer you other services. A company like American Express is good in that regard because they do have other offerings that might be valuable to you as well. So you want to establish that relationship with your savings account, and then that could carry over into other better offerings and better services from them. Number 3 is the CapitalOne 360 savings account. Now, this one has been advertised a whole lot recently because a lot of people think, oh, CapitalOne, they actually have a savings account. Interesting. And it is also a 1% APY. Again, similar with American Express, you could potentially establish a good relationship and then get better credit card offers through them. So that's not a bad idea if you want to go with CapitalOne. They also offer very similar benefits to American Express and even Ally Bank. So it's not a bad choice as well. Coming in at number 4 is VIO Bank. Now, they actually offer one of the best savings rates currently at 1.11%. Now, they are also an online bank very similar to Ally Bank. So VIO Bank comes in at a very competitive rate to try and get you guys in the door. And it's pretty cool. So they've actually been really one of the highest I've seen over the past year or couple years that I've been following the different savings accounts. And VIO Bank really has kind of taken that top spot in terms of always having the best savings rates. Now, they might not be able to maintain this forever. They're just trying to get people in the door. But, I mean, they have been pretty competitive and put themselves as known as like one of the highest savings rates that you can possibly find. So VIO Bank typically has one of the highest rates. Of course, they are a smaller online bank, so you can't expect all of the exact same features and perks that you might get from a higher bank such as American Express or CapitalOne or even Ally Bank as well. All of them are fairly competitive, but VIO Bank is pretty cool to come in at such a high savings rate. Coming in at number 5 is Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Now, you're probably familiar with Goldman Sachs. They actually have a really good savings account with the Marcus by Goldman Sachs coming in at a 1.05% annual percent yield at the making of this video, of course, and they have been fairly competitive as well, offering a pretty good rate. It's very similar to all the other savings accounts on this list, but they actually are a fairly large name, of course, in the banking industry, so wouldn't hurt to go with them as well if you're looking to build up other investment accounts with them in the future. Then you already have that relationship established with your savings account. Coming in at number 6 is Citibank with a 1.1% APY, which is also fairly competitive. They are a larger bank as well, so it doesn't hurt to establish a relationship with them similar to the other banks. They do offer a fairly competitive rate as well, also sitting around the 1% rate that you can see is very common throughout this entire list in this video. And rounding out the bottom of the list at number 7 is any kind of local credit union. This is another alternative option. While I'm not specifying a specific local credit union because that depends on where you live and what's available in your particular area, in your zip code, different offers may vary. But this is another option that you could look into because local credit unions ultimately, they give back to the community. They have very high customer service typically. Of course, it depends on your area, but it's not a bad idea to take a look at what are available in your local market to kind of support the area and see, because a lot of times they do offer special deals for people in the local area and some offers and deals that you might be able to have better than any of the bigger banks that are listed on this list, as well as the fact that, you know, they have local branches available if you need those kind of services with your savings account compared to any of the just purely online offerings or even bigger banks that just don't really have much of a presence in your area. So that is all for the 7 best savings accounts in 2020, and the typical 6 withdrawal limit is why you would still want to maintain a checking account in comparison to a savings account, so you do have that benefit there for regular occurrences of expenses where you need to be making more withdrawals. And that's why you still want to have both accounts. And the nice thing too with having a different savings account is it's separate. You don't look at it, you don't touch it, you just grow it slowly over time. And when comparing all the different savings accounts and trying to decide which one you want to choose out of all the different options available, it also doesn't hurt to even just go with multiple of them. That's what I personally do. I have multiple different types of accounts with many different companies to try and get the best perks from all of them available. You know, Ally Bank is great and all, and I've used them for a while now, but it honestly still doesn't offer the same exact type of perks that a Chase account, because you have the opportunity for a lot of other services such as the Chase Private Client, for example, or any of the other things that Chase offers with all of their various credit cards that are awesome, and just a lot more options in general, which is why you should always be open to looking at a lot of different types of accounts, as well as meeting the different FDIC limits as well. If you need to spread money over different accounts, that's also an option there. So it really just is best to have multiple, because then you kind of spread your stuff out. You get the best of both worlds instead of just limiting yourself to one account. Like I said with Ally, there's really not much else there other than the good percentage, and it's great for that, but for anything else that you may need, you might want to look elsewhere. And of course, while having multiple different types of savings accounts or other checking accounts, investment accounts, it can get a little bit overwhelming over time. I've definitely seen that as you open an account here, open an account there, and then you just have so many to manage that it's kind of like stressful and annoying. So I could also see just having a couple, maybe a short list of 5 that you want to actually go with and manage, because you have to manage all the different, logins and all that kind of stuff. So I could also see just keeping a more limited amount of savings accounts, or just different accounts in general. It really is up to you to decide that as to what you feel most comfortable with and what you want to manage. Now, of course, savings accounts do not serve as a complete alternative to actual investing. That is a whole topic for a different video. But of course, you still want to be contributing to different investment accounts if you can, but being able to hold cash is much better in a high yield savings account than just sitting in a checking account not earning you any kind of interest. You might as well be getting some sort of interest, even if it is only 1% currently with these different savings accounts at the moment. It is still better than sitting in a checking account basically earning you nothing, to have it in a savings account getting you at least something for the time that it's sitting there. And during the current events, it makes sense to have extra cash sitting around, if you can, to have it in a savings account, because you never know what may happen. It doesn't hurt to have an extra emergency fund, maybe built up to double what you normally would have, just because of unforeseen events that may change the world completely, which kind of makes sense why people want to save more money right now. So that is all for the 7 best savings accounts in 2020. If you have any questions, feel free to leave that down in the comments section below. Of course, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you're notified when any new videos go up. And with that said, you guys, that is all for today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.